The Physics of Time, D-Theory of Time and Temporal Mechanics, instant bestseller on Amazon. Press release. Ecstadelic Media Group releases a new non-fiction book, The Physics of Time, D-Theory and Temporal Mechanics by Alex Vikoulov, Antonin Tuynman Ph.D., as a Kindle ebook. Press release, San Francisco, May 22, 2019. The Science and Philosophy of Information book series is adapted for general audience from the grand volume titled The Syntellect Hypothesis, 5 Paradigms of the Mind's Evolution, a treatise by digital philosopher Alex Vikoulov on the ultimate nature of reality, consciousness. The Physics of Time, Digital Physics, Philosophy of Mind, Foundations of Quantum Physics, the Technological Singularity, Transhumanism, the Impending Phase Transition of Humanity, the Simulation Hypothesis, Economic Theory, the Extended Gaia Theory, Transcendental Metaphysics and God. In this book 2 of the series, the author addresses probably the most interesting questions in science and philosophy. What is the deeper nature of time? Is time fundamental or emergent? What does it take to build a time machine and travel to the past? As the author writes in the introduction to the book series, when I first wrote and published the Syntellect Hypothesis, 5 Paradigms of the Mind's Evolution in January 2019, I received lots of feedback from my friends, associates, and readers saying that it had come out to be too voluminous and thus rightfully deserving a magnum opus designation for the scientific and philosophical discourse. At the same time, many suggested to break this work into several parts for easier reading and to get it adapted to general audience. So, this book The Physics of Time is part of the magnum opus, and simultaneously book 2 of the Science and Philosophy of Information series. However, the book contains some newly introduced material and also can be read as a standalone book. Alex Vikoulov is a futurist, digital philosopher, neo-transcendentalist, transhumanist, singularitarian, cosmist, independent scholar, evolutionary extrapolist, consciousness researcher, media artist, painter and writer who lives in Burlingame, California. Russian-born, immigrated to the U.S. in 1994, holds degrees in humanities, finance and economics. Earlier published works include Is Reality a Simulation? 2018, The Syntellect Hypothesis, 5 Paradigms of the Mind's Evolution, 2019, The Origins of Us, Evolutionary Emergence and the Omega Point Cosmology, 2019. Instant bestseller on Amazon. This new book is an easy but incredibly profound and in many ways astounding read for those interested in the subjects such as the nature of time, experiential temporality, time travel, the physics of information, and philosophy of time. Written by Alex Vikoulov, foreword by Antonin Tuynman, Ph.D., publisher, Ecstadelic Media Group, publication date, May 19, 2019, format, Kindle ebook, print book length, 180 pages, price, $9.99. Time is a moving image of eternity. This is the opening quote by Plato to Volume 2 of the Science and Philosophy of Information series. And here's the passage from the book. Time seems to be moving for us in one direction in a linear, incremental fashion which is not a result of immutable physical laws but rather their probabilistic interpretation. Things are said to get messier over time, to move from more orderly states, towards more entropy, disorderly states. However, a growing number of physicists now regard entropy as a measure of information, that is complexity, not of messiness. Links to follow. Audio press release by Ecstadelic Media Group.